Fine, good afternoon to you all students. Hi students, how are you? I hope you all are fine. Students, have you all revised till yesterday's portion? So have you all revised till yesterday's portion? So please study daily's portion, okay? Don't waste time. So welcome to our today's online class, students. So now we are studying about chapter 10. So what's the title of our chapter? Python, classes and objects. Isn't it what's the title of our chapter? Python, classes and objects. So in this chapter we have studied about classes. What do you mean by class? How you need to create class. Then syntax for class. Then objects. Lot of things you have studied. Okay. So first all of you take your computer textbooks in your hand. So please all of you take your computer textbooks in your hand. Please all of you take. So have you all taken? So have you all taken? So in your textbooks, take page number 177. Okay. So in your textbooks, so all of you take page number 177. Okay. So today we are going to study about programs in classes and objects. Okay. Programs using classes and objects. Okay. Have you all taken? So please listen carefully. So today I'll complete this chapter 10. So 4 programs are there. Very, very important programs. So listen carefully. Okay. Very, very important programs. Okay. So listen. First program. So write a program to calculate area and circumference of a circle. Okay. So you are going to write a program to calculate area and circumference of a circle. Okay. The same program you have studied in last chapter also. Okay. But this chapter we are going to write the program using classes and objects. That's the difference. Understand? So listen carefully. So first the program using classes means what's the first step? What's the first step? You should create a class, isn't it? So what's the syntax for creation of class? Class always starts with the keyword class, then class name, then colon, isn't it? So first you should put the keyword class. What's the class name here? What's the class name? Circle. Okay, then colon. So inside this program we are using one constant value pi. So what's the constant value for pi? 3.14. That already you know. So for that, so in this class itself you have defining the constant value pi. Okay. So the pi you have defined in the variable pi. Okay. So because why you are defining the variable pi? So you are going to calculate program. You are going to calculate area and circumference. So what's the formula for calculating area? Area of a circle. Area of a circle, pi r square. Isn't it? Then circumference of a circle, 2 pi r. So both the formulas, we need to use the value of pi. Isn't it? For that, first itself we are defining a constant value pi in the program. Okay, understand? So the pi you have defined in the variable pi. So what's the value for pi? 3.14. Okay, listen carefully. So next, you are defining the variable of radius inside. What is this one? Def underscore init of. What is this one? So last class I have taught about constructors and destructors. Isn't it? So constructors always has a function init of. Isn't it? So in a program if you have seen init of like this underscore, always the init of function begins as well as ends with double underscore. Isn't it? So in the program if you have seen the init of, you should know that's a constructor. So when the constructor will execute, so if you have created a object for the program, immediately or automatically the constructor of a class will execute. That already you have studied, isn't it? So which is the constructor here? This one. Def init of So here you are going to pass the radius. Why? So area of a circle as well as the circumference of a circle, you need radius, isn't it? So you are passing the radius inside the constructor. Understand? So how many arguments are there inside the constructor? What do you mean by arguments? So inside the bracket you have mentioned. So what are the things you have mentioned as input variable that we are calling as an argument, isn't it? So here you have mentioned only one argument. So if you are not mentioning any arguments means also the first argument automatically it will be taking as a self. So if you are not mentioned any arguments means also automatically it will consider the first argument as a self. That yesterday itself, last class itself I said. Isn't it? So, no need to pass any values for the self, but automatically it will take the value for the other arguments. Understand? So, in this constructor, you are passing which argument? Variable radius. Okay. Next. So, what value you are passing? The radius. That one is assigned automatically to self. So, what's the formula for, what's the format for giving this value for radius to self? Self dot radius equal to radius. What's the meaning? What value you are passing to the radius, that is taken by self dot radius. Understand? So this is the constructor. Next you are going to calculate the area of a circle as well as circumference of a circle. Okay. So what's the formula for creation of area of a circle? Pi r square. Listen carefully. Further, what is this one? Def area of self. What is this one? Function. So you should know the difference between the constructor as well as function. Okay. So this is the constructor. So why? Constructor has the function name, special function name called init of. But a normal function does not have the function name or does not have the special function called init of. Understand? So this is called what? Normal function. So how you will identify a function? So function always starts with the keyword def. Isn't it? Function always starts with the keyword def. Then what's the after the keyword def, what do you need to give? Function name. So what's the function name then? Area. Understand? So function always starts with the keyword def. You are going to write a function def. What's the function name? Area. Inside automatically it will assign one argument called self. Okay. So in this function you are going to calculate the formula for area of a circle. Listen carefully. What's the formula? Pi r square. So it will return the value for the area. It will return. So what's the formula? Pi r square. So you are going to access the variable pi in from which class? Circle. So listen, circle dot pi. Formula is pi r square. So you need to access the variable pi from the class circle. Further, what's the concept? So you are going, what's the meaning? Circle dot pi. This pi variable is, you are declaring this variable inside the class circle. So you are going to access a variable pi in the class circle. So circle dot pi. So pi r square. What do you mean by r? Radius. So radius you have mentioned in where? Radius you have mentioned inside the constructor. Isn't it? So what's where the radius you have mentioned? Radius equal to self dot radius. So you need to call which variable for radius? Self dot radius. Understand? So this is the value. So if you will get confused means please write this is the value for pi. Circle dot pi. Okay. So this what's the meaning means you are calling the variable pi from the class circle. So next radius. Radius where you have passed inside the constructor self dot radius. So you are calling the self dot radius. So pi r square. Square means how you will mention in the program? 2 times. What's the meaning? Square. Star 2 times star into 2 means square. Understand now? Understand? The same way you are going to calculate. So area of a circle over. Next, what's the meaning? What do you need to calculate? Circumference of a circle. Okay. Next, another one function. One function over. Then next function. Def. What's the thing you need to write? Circumference. So circumference inside the variable self. So what's the formula for calculating circumference of a circle? 2 pi r. So same concept. So it will return 2 pi r. 2 into pi is declaring inside the class circle. So circle dot pi. So 2 pi. What's the meaning? This is the value for pi into r. So where you need to access r? Self dot radius. This is the meaning of 2 pi. Pi belongs to class circle. Circle dot. So you are giving circle dot pi. R. Radius where you are passing self dot radius. This is mean 2 pi r. Understand? So listen carefully. In this program, you have defined a class, then one constructor. So inside the constructor, you are passing the value for radius. Then you are writing two functions. What are the functions? For a formula for calculating area as well as circumference. Isn't it? Yes, listen. Next, you need to enter the radius. Already you have mentioned the radius. But you need to enter the value for the radius. Isn't it? For that, you are creating one variable. What variable? R. Okay. In the R, you are giving input of function. What's the meaning of input of function? So you need to give the input in the output screen. So input of function, there you are giving in the radius. Next, so you have created a class as well as constructor. What's the next step? So you need to create objects for the class, isn't it? So what's the object you have created? C equal to, what's the format for creation of objects? Object name equal to class name of, isn't it? So what object you are creating? C equal to, what's the class name? Circle. So C equal to circle of. So you are passing this variable R. What's the meaning? So you are using the radius inside this object also. Understand? So C equal to class name circle of this radius R. Next. So you have passed the value. What's the next step? You need to print. Isn't it? So print, what are the things you need to print? Area of a circle as well as circumference of a circle. Understand? So what's the area of a circle? The in print statement I am giving the area equal to. So listen carefully. So after creation of object, what are the things you need to access? All the things you need to access using the object. Isn't it? So your area you have written inside the function. So with this object you need to call the function. So C dot area of. Understand? C dot area of. Next, print circumference equal to C dot circumference of. Understand? Understand? Very easy program. If you understand means very easy. Okay. So see the output. So what output you will get first? Enter the radius. You are entering the radius. Next, the area. So immediately in the area you are giving C dot area of. The control automatically go to the function. So area. So in this formula pi r square. So after what's the value of pi? 3.14 into r. What's the radius? 5 into 5. So 5 square. You will get the answer 78.5. Likewise, next the circumference. C dot circumference. So automatically the control flows to the function circumference. Then calculate the formula 2 pi r. You will get the answer 31.4 something. Understand this program? Understand? So all these programs are very important. Okay. Then shall we move to the next program? So next program is write a menu driven program that keeps record of books available in a school library. Okay. So you are going to write a program to display. So in a library, lot of books will be there. Isn't it? In a library, lot of books will be there. So you are going to write a program to display all the books available in your school library. Understand? You are going to write a program to display the books available in library. Understand? So listen guys, somewhat big program, but it is very easy. So please don't mug up it. Understand and study. So what's the thing? So first you should create a class library. You are going to write a program for displaying books inside the library, isn't it? So for that, first you have mentioned the class. What's the class name? Library. Okay. Inside this you are passing. What is this one? Def unit of self. What is this one? Constructor, isn't it? So def unit of self. Inside that I am not going to pass any argument. So if you are not passing any argument means also the program automatically take the first argument as self. Understand? So inside this I am giving two variables inside the constructor. Okay. So each book will have book name, separate book name. Isn't it? Each book will have separate book name. As well as each book will have separate author name. So who wrote this book? Isn't it? So each books will have separate book name as well as separate author name. So for that, I am mentioning two variables, book name as well as author. So already you know. So if you mention the self inside this constructor, means you should, what are the variables you are mentioning inside the constructor, you should call that with the self. Okay, then self dot book name. So here you are not giving book name, only one book name. If you give means no problem, you can mention the book name here. But you are going to write the program to display lot of books in your library. So you are not mentioning any book name here. Okay. So self dot book name. Okay, understand? Next, what's the next thing you need to mention? Author. So self dot author. So if you are not mentioning this one, means you should mention with double quotes, because the value are in in the output screen, you are mentioning the value inside the double quotes. Understand? So this is the constructor. Just think it and write the program. So you have written a class as well as one constructor. So in constructor you have given two variables. What are the variables? Book name as well as author. What's the next step? You need to get the input, isn't it? So to get the input, what's the what function? You should write a function. So input, listen, which function you will write? Get data of, name itself having get data of. What's the meaning of get data? You are getting the input data. Okay, you are getting the input data. What are the inputs you need to get? Book name. So already have given two variables. What are the book name as well as author? So you need to get two inputs. Understand? So for that you are writing first function def. What's the function? Always starts with the keyword def. Okay, then function name. What's the function name here? What's the function name? Get data of. Okay, so inside automatically first argument self. Next, you are going to pass the value for this self.bookname as well as self.author. Understand? So you are giving self.bookname. You need to enter the name of the book here. For that, which function? Entering the name of the book. Input of function. So here, this variable self.bookname equal to input of, enter the name of the book. You are giving the inputs inside the function get data of. And also you are passing the input to the variables you have mentioned in the constructor. Understand? So self.bookname equal to input of, you are going to enter the name of the book. Then likewise self.author equal to input of, enter the author of the book. So you have written in class the constructor, you have mentioned in two variables book name. Then you are passing the values for that two variables by giving inputs. So input get data you have written. Next, what's the thing? You need to display the output. For that, next function. For displaying the output, you are written next function. What's the function? Display of. Okay. So def, the function is display of self. Understand? So what are things you need to display? What are things you have given as the input? Name of the book as well as author of the book. The same thing you need to display as the output. Isn't it? So inside the print you are giving, so display of name of the book. Name of the book you are giving in where? Name of the book you have mentioned in self.bookname. Then author of the book. Author of the book you have mentioned which variable? Self.author. So you are calling that two variables. So name of the book you are given in self.bookname. So you are calling the variable self.bookname. Next, author of the book you are giving in self.author. Next, print backslash. What's the meaning? Automatically it will come to the next line. So here what are things you have written? A class you have written. Then one constructor is there. Then input of function. For input you are giving in function get data, and displaying the details you will return another one function display of. So how many functions are there here? Totally two functions as well as one constructor and one class. Understand? Understand or not? Next, listen carefully. Next, what's the program? You are going to write a program to display books available in your library. So you need to store lot of details, isn't it? So for that, you are going to create one list. So the list always have values enclosed with square brackets. So each value is separated using commas. That already you have studied, isn't it? So what are the things you have giving as the input? All the things will store in the list called book. Okay. So initially the list becomes empty. Okay. Because after passing the values only you can able to store the values inside the list, isn't it? So for that, so initially I am creating an empty list. Okay. So I am going to create one empty list. What's the name of the list here? Book. What's the format for creating empty list? Simply 2 square brackets. Understand? Next, listen. Next, I am going to create one variable called ch. For why I am creating this variable means you are entering a choice. So the same format you have studied in last year your practical program. Enter the choice 1. Do you need to continue? Are you remembering choice 1, 2? Yes. The same thing you are also giving the choices. Okay. For that choice, you are mentioning a variable called what? Declaring a variable ch. Understand? For declaring choice, you are giving the variable ch. What's the meaning? Means ch equal to y. Y means yes. If your choice is yes means. So you are entering a choice. So if your choice is yes means, that means giving. See the condition. While your choice is yes. Your choice is yes means what are the details you need to print? First, print, add new book. Then, what's the meaning of this one? Backslash and the next line, display books. Your choice is yes means you should print first and add new book, the next line, display books. Okay, next. So, you need to enter your choices, isn't it? For that, you are declaring another one variable called what? RESP. Okay, so any variable you can mention. So, according to your wish, you can mention A, B, C like that, any one variable. But in a programmer book, they have given the variable called RESP. So, in this variable, you are giving your choice. So, input you need to give in input of function. So, that's a number. So, int input of enter your choice. Understand? Understand? So, books, what are the books you have entered? The books you need to store in an empty list. Then you are going to enter choice. For that choice, you are declaring a variable ch. If your choice is yes means, that is your choice is yes. If while your choice is yes means, what are the details you need to print? Add new books. Each time you need to add a new book. So, what are the books you are adding? That book need to display. Okay. For that, you are going to enter the choice. The choice is given in the variable RESP. Okay. So, choice you are giving in the input of function. Understand? Next, listen. In this while, you are giving another one condition. If you enter your choice, here only you are entering the choice, isn't it? If your choice is 1. Listen carefully. Here you are entering the choice. If your choice is 1 means, so listen. So, choice is given in the variable RESP. So, if RESP given choice is double equal to 1 means, what are things you need to display? So, you should create an object for the class. What's the class name here? So, what's the class name? Library. So, you are going to create an object for the library. L equal to library of. Then, listen. Next, if the choice is 1 means you need to get the information for the function. What's the function for getting input? Get data of. Okay. So, with using that object, you are calling the function get data of. Understand? So, all the inside the get data, what are the details will be there? See, enter the name of the book, enter the author of that book. So, each time it belongs enter the name of the book as well as author of the book. Okay. So, after entering, lot of book names will be there, lot of author names will be there. So, all the things you should store in the list. Already you have created one empty list, isn't it? So, you should, what's the format for adding things in the list? So, what's the function? What function you need to use? Up and off. You have studied. Isn't it? Up and off means one value first you add, next value. Likewise, it will add lot of value. How many values you are entering, all the values automatically it will store in the list. So what are the things you are getting in the details? So, all the details will be storing in the list. So, what's the name of next? You are going to call the list name. So, what's the name of the list? Book dot. So, what's the function for adding the values? Up and off with the object L. Understand? If your choice is L if your choice is 1 means you are calling the class with the you are going to create an object for the class. What's the object? L. So, L equal to the class name library. With that object you are calling the function. What's the function name? Get data of. So, what are the things? What are the details you are given in the get data? What are the details? book name as well as author name. So what are the book names you are getting as well as what are the author names you are getting, that automatically will store to the empty list. Okay. So what's the function for storing? Up and off. So the name of the list dot up and off with the object L. So this will execute for the choice 1. Isn't it? Next, else for elif. What's the meaning of elif? More than one if-else statement you are using in the program means you need to use elif. Isn't it? So elif, if this choice is 2, choice is given in the variable RESB. So if your choice is 2 means you are creating a variable x. Okay. So you are creating a variable x. X, listen. So you are creating a variable x in book of. That means what's the name of the, also that means you have stored the all the book names in the L list, all the book names in the list, book, empty list, isn't it? Book. So for x in book, that means what are the, you are creating one variable. You are creating one variable. So with that variable, you are entering the book. If the book name is present inside the list book, so you should call the list. So x in book of, that means x dot display of. What do you mean by display? You are calling this function display of. That means what are the details you have stored in the book. So each details will be displayed. Understand? Else. So 2 choices you are given. Else, if 2 choices is not there means, so you need to give the output as a invalid input. So you should giving the print statement invalid input. Next, last you are asking, do you want to continue? Understand? So listen carefully once more. This program, first you have created one class library, then one constructor. So inside the constructor 2 variables you are giving book name as well as author. Next, input of function. So getting the input, you are writing a function called get data of. So inside the get data you are entering the name of the book as well as author and assigning this to these variables. Next, display of function, you are displaying what are the details you have entered here. That details you are displaying by calling this variable. Next, you all the details you need to store in a list. For that you are creating a empty list. Next, you are giving choices for entering your options. If your choice is yes means, so what are the details you will display? Add new book as well as display book. Next, you need to enter the choice. If your choice is 1 means, so you are going to create an object for the class. With that object, you are calling the function. Then with the function, what are the details you are entering? All the details is stored in the list by using calling the function up and off. Next, so here input details you are getting. Next, you need to call the display details or output details, isn't it? For that, you are giving another one choice. If your choice is 2 means, that means what are the details you are entering in the book. So for that, you are creating one variable. Okay. So what are the details you are storing in the book? That list, all the details will be displayed using the display of function. Otherwise, you are giving 2 choices is also not there means you are giving the output as a invalid input. Understand? So see this output first. So see, add new book, then display book, enter your choice. See, add new book, display book, enter your choice. So you are say enter your choice automatically. Enter your choice automatically. Your choice is, you are giving the you are giving the choice is 1. So choice is 1 means automatically the program will go to this L dot library of, then L dot get data. Inside the get data, what are the details you are giving? Enter the name of the book, enter the author of the book. See, enter the name of the book, enter the author of the book. So name of the book you are entering program in C++. Author of the book they have given Kannan. Then so this block execute. So if else statement, either it will execute true block as well as false block. So true block is execute. Then automatically it will continue down outside the block. Outside the block, what they have asked? Do you want to continue? Again you are giving the choices yes. So likewise it will execute. See, next add new book. Again you are entering the choice. Again you are entering the, again it will ask, do you want to continue? Next choice. Likewise, see how many outputs they are giving. So till it will continue, enter your choice 1. See, enter choice, the name of the book, author of the book. Then again you are entering the choice 1, enter the name of the book. Yes. See, so till it will execute, enter the choice 2. So next you are giving, see, till this you are entering the choice 1. See, choice 1 means what are the details? It will have name of the book as well as author of the book. Again it will ask you, do you want to continue? So you are giving the choice as 1. So always you need to enter the name of the book. So here what are the details you are entering? Next all the details you need to display as an output. So for that display you need to give which choice? So in the program you have written no. For displaying details, so which choice you need to give? Choice equal to 2. In this choice only you are going to give the display. So in display of function, what are the things? Name of the book, author of the book. What are the details you are giving in the input, that all the details will displayed in the display of function. See, listen carefully. When you are giving the choice 2, so what are the book names and what are the author names already you have given in the choice 1. All the details will display as an output. Understand? See, first you are giving programming C++, then Kanna. Next, learn Python. So, till what are the details you are giving, all the details it will display in a display. At last, again it will ask. So, till how many inputs you are giving choice 1? Count it. So, all the details, what are the details, what are the book names, what are the other names you are giving, all the book names and other names it will, again it will ask, do you want to continue? So, again if you are giving choices yes means, yes, again it will ask, enter the choice 1. Again it will accept. But you are giving the choices no. No means the program will stop at that once. Understand? Understand? Very, very easy program. Don't think this is a very big program. If you understand means nothing is there. Likewise, they will ask own program. So please listen carefully and start. Understand? Yes. So next program. So this program is very, 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 very important. The same program. This is the 5th practical program for you. The same program you are going to study for your practical exam also. So now itself you study. This is the 5th practical program. Very, 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 very important program. Okay. So now itself studies program is somewhat big, but nothing is there. Very, very easy. So listen carefully. Okay. So what's the program means? You are going to write a program. In that program, so you are entering some text or some sentence you are entering. Okay. You are entering some sentence or words. In that sentence or from that words, you are going to write a program to get. So from the sentence, you are going to take how many uppercase letters, that means how many capital letters are there, how many small letters are there, how many vowels are there, how many consonants are there, how many spaces will be there. Understand? So these are the details you are going to take from this given sentence. Understand? So for that, first you are going to write a class. What's the name of the class? String. For right now itself, please study. Very, very important. This is a 5th practical program. Now itself you study. Okay. So you are going to create a class. So what's the name of the class? String. Okay. Next you are going to write a constructor function. So what is a constructor? So inside the constructor, what are the variables you are going to declare? All the variables you are going to mention inside the constructor. Okay. So what's the syntax for writing constructor? Def, then double underscore init of, isn't it? Then inside automatically it is assigning a variable called self. So listen, what are the things? First, before you are going to write the program, you should think. So what are the things I need to give as an input? So all the things you are mentioned in the variables inside the constructor. So question itself they asked to find a uppercase letters. Uppercase means capital letter. Then lowercase, small letters, vowels, consonant and space. So initially, so before you are going to count, so initially the value will be 0 for all the cases. Listen. So self dot, what is the first thing? Uppercase. Uppercase is 0. Initial count is 0. Then what are things you are going to find? Lowercase. Then vowel, consonant. So all the things you are giving in the, giving your assigning the variable with self. So self dot uppercase equal to 0. Then self dot lowercase. Then self dot vowel. Self dot consonant. Self dot space equal to 0. Okay. Next. Self dot string. What's the meaning means? Here only you are going to enter the string. Okay. So in the output screen you are going to enter the string. For that in the program what you need to do? So you need to mention inside the double quotes. You should leave the space with double quotes. Understand up to this is the constructor. So what are the details you need to give as an input, or what are the things you need? All the things you are giving in a variables inside the constructor. Initially the count will be 0. So class you have written, then variable. Next you need to give the input. So last program you have studied input. Which function? For input what do you need to write? Functions. Isn't it? So function, last program you have written the function as a get data of. Isn't it? Here string, you are giving the string. For that you are writing the function with the name get str of. Str means string. Okay, listen. So the function def get means what? Giving the input or getting the input. So get str of self. So already you have mentioned where you are entering the string. Self dot string. So you are calling that one. Understand? Similar to the last program. So where you are entering the string? Self dot string. So self dot string equal to str of. That means string of input. Here only you are entering the string. Enter a string. Understand? Listen. Next in the question they asked to count how many capital letters is there, how many small letters, how many vowel letter, how many consonants, isn't it? For that, first you are going to count the capital letters or uppercase letters. So each thing you are going to write as separate functions. Understand? Listen. Def, first you are going to count which one? Uppercase. So count upper of. For another understanding, they are given the same name, count upper of. Okay. So automatically it will assign a variable self. So listen. Next, you are going to create one variable ch. ch in self dot string. What's the meaning? So you are entering the variable in where? Here, self dot string. So this variable, that means count ch, you are entering the variable is there in string. That what's the meaning? Count upper. That means the uppercase is presented in entering the string. Where you enter the string? In the variable self dot string. So that means ch in string. So if uppercase is there means which function you need to call? Ch dot is upper of. What's the use of is upper? It will return the count of how many uppercase letter will be there. Understand? So you are writing a function for counting uppercase letters. For that def count of upper. Next you are creating a variable for ch. This is the same for all the functions. So please listen carefully. You are creating a variable ch. That variable is present in entering the string. Where you have entered the string? Self dot string, isn't it? So that where that is present in self dot string means. So which function is what's the function for counting the uppercase letter? Upper of. So if this given string, that is the given string is assigned in the variable ch. So ch is dot upper of. Uppercase is there means each time the count will need to be get increment. That means uppercase plus equal to 1. That means first letter is uppercase. Okay, 1. Then next letter is uppercase. Then plus 1, 2. Each time the count will get increase. Understand? The same format. If you study this function means you can write all the things. Same thing. Listen. Def count of next lowercase letters you are counting. So lower of self. Same thing. So ch in self dot string. Here upper. In the place of upper you need to write lower. Understand? So uppercase in the place you need to write lowercase plus equal to 1. That's what's the meaning. It will count all the small letters. Understood? Next. So uppercase over, lowercase over. Next, vowels. So def count of same thing. Vowels of. Next, the same thing. For ch, that variable in self dot string. If here only different. If ch in a, e, I, o, u. This is not l. Okay, in your book also please correct it. I, o, u. This is not I. Okay. Here this last two letters. Small capital letter U as well as small letter U. A, E, I, O, U. This is not L, U. Okay. Cut it and write in your book also small letter U as well as capital letter U. What's the meaning? So you are entering some strings. In that string, if this vowel letters is there or not. That is if ch in. So each letters you should mention inside the single quotes. Okay. With separated using commas. A, small letter A as well as small letter A also vowel, capital letter A also vowel. So A, E, I, O, U. If the vowel letter is there means each time the vowel letter need to get increment. Self dot vowels plus equal to 1. Understand? This is a vowel. Same thing. Next, what's the thing you need to write? Consonants. What do you mean by consonant? Other than the vowel letters we are calling as a consonants, isn't it? So def count of consonants. Same thing. If ch in self dot string, what's the thing you should mention here mean? Here, ch in. What do you mean by in? So that letter is present in given string. But here, what do you mean by consonants? Other than the vowel letters we are calling as a consonant. So if ch not in, that means other than a, here also not l. So please cut it and write a, I, o, u. Capital letter u as well as small letter u. This is not l. Okay, small letter U as well as capital letter. If CH not in, what's the meaning? Other than then, the given string other than this letter is there, means that is not in. Other than this letter is there means you should count as a consonant. Each time the consonant value will also get increase. Understand? So how many functions you are writing? See, listen carefully. One class you have written, then one constructor, then function. What the first function is? Get str of. One function for getting the input string. Then count upper of for counting uppercase. Then count lower of counting lowercase. Then count vowels of counting vowels. Then count consonants of counting consonant. Count space of. Okay. What do you mean by space? For example, you are giving one sentence. So in between two words, each word there is a space will be there. So this space will count how many spaces are there in the sentence. Understand? Further what function? Def count of space. Same thing. CH in self for but space you are not mentioning anything. What's the meaning of this one? This is a space. So if CH equal if space is there means the space will also will need to a count. Each time the value will get increment. Understand? Next. Next, listen. You are going to execute all the functions. So simply you have written all the functions. Isn't it? Upper, count lower, count consonant, get str of, count space. So you need to execute all the functions. For that you are writing a function called execute of. See, def execute of. So here you are calling all the functions. Okay. In this execute you are calling all the functions. What are the functions? Upper of, count lower of, count vowel of, count consonant of, count space of. With the variable self. So self dot count upper of, self dot count lower of, self dot count. What are the functions you are done? All the functions. See, count lower of, count vowel, count consonant. All the functions you are calling here. Understand? Next. So you have executed. Next, what's the thing you need to? Display all the things. For that, what function you need to write? The display of. Okay? Def display of. So inside the display, listen. The given string contains. Okay? So you are entering the given string contains given. Why you are giving the percentage %d? So percentage %d belongs to you are giving a string, isn't it? So for that percentage %d. So percentage %d uppercase letters. So uppercase letters where you are giving uppercase. So self dot uppercase. Understand? Uppercase where you have mentioned uppercase letters. See here, this is self dot uppercase. So each thing you are going to display. So self dot uppercase, lowercase letters, self dot lowercase. Each time you need to call like the self dot vowel, self dot consonant. Here only the count will need to increment, isn't it? So you are calling all the uppercase letters are given in uppercase. Lowercase means lowercase. Vowel, then consonant, self dot consonant, spaces, self dot space. So you have executed all the function. Now you have displayed all the function. Next, what's the step? Next, you are going to create a object for the class. What's the class name? String. So what's the object? S equal to string of. What's the object you are giving? Yes. So all the details. What are the details you need to call here? So first thing is a get str of. Isn't it? First thing is a get str of. So what's the first thing you need to entering the string? For that get str of. Next, what function you need to call? Execute of function. What's the execute of function? So here only you are all the functions already you have called. So simply you can call this execute of. Next, which function? Here you are giving display. So you should call display of function. Understand? See the output. What output you will get? So in the first thing, given string contain. Enter the so get str of. Get str of what you are giving? Enter a string. So what string you are giving? Welcome to learn computer science. So next str of. So in the str of what are the things you are giving? Sorry, execute of. Execute of. So it will execute all the function. Then display of. So you are giving in display of function what are the given string content. Uppercase, lowercase. So it will count how many uppercase letters are there. How many lowercase. See how many vowels, how many spaces. Understand? Very, very, very important program. So please study. Very, very important program. Today's homework is you should study what are the 3 programs I have taught. What are they? So area and circumference of a circle as well as in library as well as this. This program is very, very important. String to display this uppercase, lowercase. So today's homework is you should this and also this is the 5th practical program for you. Same program. Okay. So please study after this the completion of this session. You should study this program. Okay. The string program to display vowels, consonants, everything. You should study and write in your computer notebook. This is a homework for you. Remaining I can so Tomorrow I'll complete this chapter. So tomorrow we can mark the question answers for this chapter also. So study this program. Study thorough. Okay. Thank you, students. Thank you.